Hi there, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, this is Shine with Kellie, and I am Kellie DeMarco. I am a on-camera specialist, a media relations specialist, and a makeup artist, and I'm a former news anchor of 20 years. And so I now help women look and feel their best, feel confident when they're in front of people. And that may mean on TV in an interview, that may mean on stage in front of people, or even a Zoom call where you have to be really on and look your best. So I'm gonna teach you how I do this on-camera makeup. I'm gonna take it all off and walk you through step-by-step of how to do on-camera makeup. So I always start with a fresh face. I exfoliated last night, moisturized well, and I wait a little bit to put my makeup on so that the moisture just kind of sets in on my face. Now, the key to getting your makeup to look really nice and to last all day is to start and end with the setting spray. I love this one by Urban Decay. And instead of just spraying it at the end, I actually put it on in the beginning as well. So I'll take one of these little perfector sponges. You can get these anywhere. It's Sephora, Ulta, any of those places. I just spray it. And then all I'm doing is I'm just rubbing this all over my face. And what this is gonna do is it is going to prime my face for the makeup. It'll help the makeup stay, go on a little bit more smoothly, and it will actually help blur some of the pores and that sort of thing. So let that dry, and then you're pretty much good to go. So the next step is to really find a foundation that matches your skin color well. You may have been using the same liquid foundation for years and years, but it might be time to get a second opinion and try something that I personally like. This is Seint makeup. And what this is it's all creams. So everything in here is customized to my face. I have my color corrector, I have my foundation, I have my contour, bronzer, and then different blush colors, which also work for lipstick. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and fix the redness and the dark areas on my face because we don't wanna be distracting. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a color corrector like so, and I'm just going to look for the spots on my face that need a little help. So that for you may be sunspots like I have here. That may be rosacea. That may be acne. That could be a lot of different things, but I'm basically taking a color corrector, which means a color that offsets the redness. And if you want help with finding a good color corrector to you, you can go to my website, which is shinewithkellie.com, and I will help you find the right color corrector for you, because I do think that's really important. If you're going to be on camera a lot, you're going to be in front of people, you want to make sure that your makeup looks like you, but a little bit stronger and not distracting. We don't want to be distracting. That's the worst thing that we can do for on camera. So again, I'm just going over the red spots on my face, and I'm color correcting to create a barrier underneath my makeup. Now that also for me means the little darkness areas around my eyes. So I'm gonna put a little bit in there. See how it just kind of fixes that darkness? Do a little bit in here. And that's it. Now I'm gonna go into my main color. So my main foundation color is this one right here. This is Amber. And what I love about creams is you don't really use a lot of makeup, but it really makes a big difference. You can kind of follow along if you're still using liquid and powders, but just be really careful because it can be super drying, super mattifying, and liquids can actually settle into your wrinkles and fine lines throughout the day. So what I'm gonna do now is just go into my main color, and I'm just going to place the makeup kind of like right along this area here. That's kind of essentially like the beard area, right? And I'm just setting the makeup here and just kind of pushing it in. The goal when you're on camera is to make sure that there are no distractions, because that is what, unfortunately, people will be focusing on when you're on camera. When I was in TV and HD came out, it was a little stressful because everybody could see every pore, every hair that was out of place. And you kind of have to assume that that's going to be you too. So we want to cover up, just any unevenness in our skin. And even on the eyelids, I like to go on there as well. Because again, that's just going to even out all of the colors, veins, and that sort of thing on your face. So now that I have that color on my face, I can just kind of make sure that that's nice and blended out. Like so. Okay, so I have that color nice and blended out. And now with contour, you can use a brush like this. This is the Detail Brush by Seint. This is the company that I love for on-camera makeup and everyday makeup. You can use this side of the brush or you can use this side. And I think for today, I'm going to show you the smaller side of where we go. So first things first is you want to feel for your cheekbones, like so. And right underneath that cheekbone is where you want to hug the contour. Don't be scared to contour, especially if you're over 40. It's going to lift your face. I call it my $14 facelift because it really is incredible what contour can do. So I'm going to go into my contour color just like this. I'm going to find that area right underneath my cheekbone, and I'm just going to basically cup right underneath like so. I'm not going to go much beyond the very corner of my eye, but I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to do it on the next side so you can see, and then I'll blend it in. So same thing, start back here, go right along that cheekbone like so, and just kind of curve it up, okay? I know it looks a little bit scary now, but we're going to flip it over, and then we're just going to blend it out. The nice thing with creams, again, everything is so blendable that once this is all done, it's just going to look like it's kind of a blurred, almost like, yeah, like you've got a filter on your face, which who doesn't love that, right? So now what I'm doing is, see how I'm just kind of flicking it up. I'm just blending it in so we have no harsh lines. Any kind of cameras or any kind of lights will really showcase those harsh lines. So we want to get everything nice and blended in. So see already how it's just lifted, and we're still going to go in and blend a little bit more, but I just want to show you how this works. I'm going to go in with my contour again. And the key too, by the way, is to get a contour color that's right for you. This is one that's good for me because I'm medium to medium, a little bit dark in the summer, but if you're lighter than me, I will recommend a contour color that's great for you. Again, if you want a color match, you can go to my website, shinewithkellie.com, and fill out the form, and I'll be able to look at your face and tell you exactly what colors you need. Because let me tell you, after working on camera for 20 years, it is so important to have the right color makeup. You notice when you see women who have makeup that's really orange or really cakey, you notice, right? So all it takes is just a little bit of help from someone else to get that done. And for me, I love helping women in the privacy of their own home. I hate going into a department store or a Sephora and sitting in the middle of the store, not knowing if friends are lurking around the corner, and having someone help me that may or may not know what they're doing. So I've been totally trained in this. I can help you find the makeup that's right for you. Okay, so now I'm going to go along the jawline. I just went above here. So when you go above your, like this line here, I know it looks really dark. I'm just overcompensating so you can see. This is going to give your forehead dimension too. And we're going to blend this all out at the end. So it's not going to be perfect right now, but this is basically what we're doing is we're creating the light right in here so people can focus on you there. So if you have a double chin going or you're getting jowls, I definitely recommend to just chisel out your jaw just a little bit as well. And then just kind of bring it down so that everything kind of blends together. The other place that's great for contour is your nose. So instead of going into the contour like this, I'm going to go on the very edge of it. And then I'm going to go right on the side, like kind of like the bridge of my nose, just like so. I can kind of stamp it on here so you can see that side and that side, like so. You can also take your fingers and kind of do like this if you want, you know, it's just going to basically be this area here. We're going to leave the top light and the sides dark. And then we're going to bring that darkness up here and connect it with the brows. And we're going to blend this down. So now we've got our contour all worked in. We've kind of pushed it into the hairline. We've got it in place here. And now we're going to go in and we're going to use our brightener. So basically, just like a concealer, I use my brightener in the corners of my eyes, here and here, like so. And this side as well, and here. I like to put it right between my brows and right down the middle of my nose, right here and right here. Okay, so everything is in place. We'll get to bronzer and we'll get to blush in just a second. But now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and blend all of this together. So with your eyes, I'm going to try to get closer here so you can see. It's really important to get this whole area nice and brightened right in there. And then I just bring these two together. The reason why I don't put a lot of concealer right under my eyes is because that is what gets cakey throughout the day, right? So less is definitely more. And the reality is, unless you have really, really super dark under eyes, you don't need to color correct or even put anything really right in the middle. Like, really look at your eyes. For me, I really only have darkness there. So I'm using the least amount of product possible, really pushing it in, stippling it in, and then go right up to that eye line, just like so, and stipple those together. I like to also go whatever's left on my brush on the lids. Just evens it out. See the difference between this side and this side, right? Okay, so same thing. I'm going to get close so you can see. So I stipple it right in the corners, like so. Really get this area right in here. Bring it down. And then I'm going to bring these two sides together right up to the lash line and then just kind of stipple it out. Put whatever's left on your eyelid. And I would see I have a little bit of like a bag right there. I would go just a little bit below that, like so. And we're going to flip this over. This is the blend brush. You just really want to make sure that everything you have on is nice and blended out. So I'm going to blend that out. I'm going to blend this some more. Just blending in this contour a little bit here. The rest of the makeup. Down my nose, right in here, and right in here. So see what's happening already is the center of my face has this light, right? That's what you see celebrities do with makeup, is the real center of their face has all the light. And then the other thing you want to do is make sure that whatever's left on your brush, I always bring it down my neck. The one thing that's one of my biggest pet peeves with on camera is when your face does not match your neck. And I'm telling you, whether it's Zoom, whether it's a TV camera, whether you're on stage, it will be extra obvious when your face doesn't match your neck. So the next is blush. And for on camera, instead of using colors that you may be used to that are colors like this, really light, or even like this, I really suggest you using a color that's a little bit darker, like so. So this one, this is called Sandstone by Seint. This is a nice one. And this one right here is Black Cherry. Now, even though that looks super dark, it comes off like a really pretty cherry color. So what I like to do, instead of going on the apples of the cheeks, don't do that, because if you put blush here, when you stop smiling, what happens? It sinks down here, right? So we want everything to lift. So I am going to place my blush a little bit higher up, and I'm putting it on with my fingers so you can see exactly where I'm doing that, okay? And then I'm just going to take a brush, just like so, and then I'm just going to blend it in. So what I always say is that if you are going to be on camera or in front of people, use a little bit more blush than you are used to. It may feel weird for you, especially during the daytime, but trust me, if you don't, you're going to look flat and dead. So you want to give your face really nice coloring right in this area so that it looks more alive. So now that we have our foundation, we have our contour on, if you want to do a little bit of bronzer, you can do that. So for bronzer, I'm just going to take a little bit like so with this bronzer brush, and I would put it right here on the side of your forehead. See how it just gives me that tan automatically? And I'm going to put it right here. Just like so. It also goes kind of where the blush was, so it's like where the sun is going to hit on top of the contour. What you don't want to do is do this with the contour, because then the entire side of your face is going to get muddy. We want to leave that nice line here with the contour, and I'm going to show you a trick to make sure that doesn't happen. A little bit on the chin, a little bit on the nose, and then just down the neck. So see how basically it's like a 3 here and here. If you want to really chisel out your contour, you can go back in with your brush like so, and you can make this even more chiseled out just by running along the bottom of your contour, just like so. So see, what we don't want is that whole side of the face, again, to be dark. We want this to be contoured, so right in the shadows. Same thing on this side. I just get a teeny tiny bit, and I can just go right under where the contour is supposed to go, and that just chisels it out. Just like so. See how that works? Pretty cool, right? It's amazing what makeup can do. Okay, so now that we've done all that, we want to set our makeup with translucent powder. So there's two that I love. This is the Laura Mercier translucent powder. So it is basically it's a white powder, but it's basically clear. I like that one. And I also like this NARS. This is translucent crystal, light reflecting setting powder. And this is set, just like so. Just dab it in there like so, get all the excess off. And then all you're gonna do is just set it right in there under your eyes, like so, and down here in kind of the beard area. Anywhere that you have shine, you wanna press this in. So see the difference between this side and this side? This is kind of giving you that more airbrushed look. With TV, you don't wanna put any kind of illuminators, anything that is super shiny. If you put a little bit of gloss on, I'm gonna show you, you just want the gloss and the sparkle in the very center of your lids and your lips. So this is just basically setting the makeup so that we don't see any shine at all, okay? Just like so. See how easy that was? And I'll even put a little bit on my eyelids because our eyelids tend to get oily, and that will be great for setting up the eyeshadow, which is next. So eyeshadow for TV should be strong, but it should not be distracting. So I always like to stay in these colors here, these browns. So what I'll do is I'll just use my finger, something that's kind of like maybe a teeny bit of shimmer, but more kind of a skin color. And I'll put that on my lids, just like so. And this just kind of creates like a nice base for the rest of the eyeshadow. We want to keep it really professional, again, not crazy, but we want it to show. I will then use kind of a medium brown color. This one is called Bubba, again by Seint. And I'm gonna really focus on the corner and then bring it over like a windshield wiper, like so. So corner, windshield wiper, open your eyes so that it's up a little bit higher so that you can see the color. Do the same thing on this side. Right in the crease, but also a little bit above, especially if you have hooded eyes, meaning you don't really see your eyeshadow that much. Try really to open your eyes and put that shadow up a little bit taller, just like so. So I'm gonna use the smaller side of this, the dark, and I'm going to create kind of like a little bit of a V, and we're gonna blend all this out in the end. But this is really creating nice dimension on the eyes. Again, if this seems uncomfortable for you or like a lot to you, trust me, if you're on camera, this is gonna be great, okay? And we're gonna blend that out. If you don't do your makeup a little bit heavier than normal, then again, you just look flat and kind of lifeless, which is not what you want. This goes for family pictures. This goes for anything that you do on camera where the lighting will always wash you out. Okay, so I just focused that on the end. So dark on the outside, light on the inside. I'll go in with a clean brush like this. I just kind of clean this brush off. And then I'll go right along those lines up here and just blur them out. Remember I said we don't want to see any harsh lines. So we're just going to go along here like so. Okay, and then we're going to go to that lightest color here, and we're going to put that up by the brow bone. So see how it's already created some dimension? What the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my eyes look a little bit bigger by going underneath, but only to there. Not all the way on the bottom, but just like maybe the first third of the under eye. See how that just opened up my eye? Same thing on this side. Just to there. Okay? And then if you want a little sparkle, great. I will again use my finger like so, just get a little bit, and I'll just place this on the very center of my lid. So what that does is it just gives it a little bit of pop, but not too much. See how that works? I can then take my brush. You always want to clean up what's fallen underneath. And another trick that I like to use to lift the eyes even more is I can go in with my brush again with my color, and I can just run this right underneath, like I'm going up to my brow, like so. And see how it just cleaned up that color, but also gave me a little lift? See how my eye just went like so? Same thing on this side. Oops, this color. Just gonna go right up here. And it just cleans up any of the shadow that has fallen underneath. There we go, okay? If you're on camera or you're on the stage, I recommend definitely putting 2 or 3 layers of mascara, and I'm actually gonna do some fake lashes today, but I always put on a little bit of mascara first. I'll let that dry, and I don't put any on the bottoms. Don't put any on the bottoms because that's gonna create a shadow. Let's move on to our brows. Brows, I'm gonna take a little brush like this, see how it's just angled? And I'm gonna go into a color that matches my brows. And again, I can give you a recommendation for this too, but you're just gonna go right along the bottom of the brow, create a straight line, and then you're gonna create little hair strokes up above that. See how I do that? Do a little bit more in here. And bring it down. You can flip it over then, brush it out, and then you can go back in if you need to just fill in a little bit of hairs. But see, it just gives it a little bit stronger brow. See the difference? Fake lashes can be a little bit intimidating, but if you do them right, it makes a huge difference when you are presenting or on camera. I took them off of this, and then I cut them down just a little bit so that they're the size. You can kind of measure on your eyes. Just take a little scissors and make a cut. And then what I do is I get a little lash glue, and I run the glue right along, I'll show you, the inside. Like so. See how I just did that? Right along the inside. And this does take a little bit of practice, but I'm telling you, if you can get it down, it's totally worth it. Okay, so the key, I'm doing 2 at a time to save time, but the key is to make sure that these dry for a good 30 seconds. You can kind of blow on them a little bit, but the glue will start to get a little bit transparent, and that's when it's ready to put on. So the shorter side of the eyelash goes on the inside, and the longer eyelash goes on the outside. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to look down and just set it right on the lash. Super easy. I'm going to set it, and then I'm going to push it in just a sec. Kind of look down and just set it right where you think it goes. So then all I do is I just take my fingers, kind of push it in, like so. We don't want to mess up the eyeshadow, but we're just pushing it in. You can also take your tweezers and really push it down in there. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to do a little liner. So I'm going to overline the lips just a little bit. Like so. And right underneath the lip, go just a little bit over. See how it's creating kind of a shadow? And then I kind of fill it in just a little bit. This is a great color. This is just a cheapy NYX that I got at, I think, CVS or Target. It is the color Natural, but it really is a little bit darker, like a mauve. And that's it. Take your finger, pull it out so that you don't have all this on your teeth. Make sure you're good. And then I always take a little bit of gloss, really glittery gloss. And again, just like our eyes, we're just going to put it right in the middle of our lips. So that's it. Now all I do is I actually go back in with my mascara, and I like to put a little bit of mascara underneath just so that these kind of like bind together. And I'm good to go. So that is TV makeup. It just takes a little bit of practice, but as long as you're matte, meaning you've got powder on, there's no shine, got a little bit of shine here on your lips, a little bit of dimension in your eyes, you should be good to go. I'd love to help you. If you have any questions, comment below. I can also, again, send you a free color match. So if you want to try the makeup that I use for everyday and for on camera, I have all this in this one palette. It's pretty amazing. It's one palette makeup. Everything I need is right here. I've got a couple brushes that I use, and I have my mascara, and that's it. So if you are interested in a color match, you can go to my website, shinewithkellie.com, and I'm happy to help you. But you got this. When you're on camera and you're in front of people, just raise up the volume a little bit, right, on the makeup. Really accentuate your shadows, like your contour. Really accentuate your lips, your cheeks, your eyes, and you're good to go.